Hi, I'm Robin Openshaw. Online, they call me the Green Smoothie Girl. And today we're talking about why counting calories is stupid. Here's the thing, the whole idea of a calorie as a unit of measurement has gotten really out of hand. It's a man-made, manufactured concept to measure or to evaluate food choices. And as such, it's really inadequate. It's really a red herring is what it is, because the government has adopted it, industry has adopted it, manufacturing has adopted it, and they're sort of all in league together. And what this creates is this situation where people look at food and evaluate it based on this one almost irrelevant concept. It's not completely irrelevant, but if you look at other things instead of calories, the whole calorie situation works itself out. The issue I have with counting calories is that it's a red herring and people evaluate everything based on that instead of things that matter more. And let's just cut to the chase. The things that matter more about whether food has value or not is nutrient density. In other words, the foods that are worth the most to your body in terms of rebuilding, repairing, correcting DNA damage, in encouraging growth are low in calories and high in vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. Well, micronutrients, or vitamins, minerals, and enzymes, are not talked about enough. Everybody is obsessed with proteins, fats, and carbs, which are your macronutrients. And so if we start looking for the foods that are high in micronutrients, guess what? They also happen to be the foods that are lowest in calories. So I prefer to look at food from how nutrient dense they are, and I think it matters more. So food manufacturing has been playing this game with calories for years, and like one of the things they did is, if you were around in the 1980s in the low fat era, we bought $1 billion a year worth of low fat and non-fat foods, and we thought that was healthy. And eventually science caught up with that and said, oh, here's the problem, is we actually need fats. People who eat fats have better brain health, better neurological health. We were starving the brain of fats. I mean, fats are 80% of your brain. And so when you stop eating fats, you're not nurturing the lipid membrane around every single cell in your whole body, but you're actually starving your brain too. So one problem with obsession with calories is that there are foods that are low in calories that are terrible for you, that are toxic, that are carcinogenic. There are foods that are high in calories that are really, really good for you, and it would be a mistake to avoid them. And I'll give you some examples. I'll meet people on my lecture tour who are skinny, and they don't say, hey, I don't have to change my diet because look at me, I'm skinny, or I'm really pretty, so I must be eating right. Well, those two things actually aren't correlated. A lot of people are skinny and are really, really sick. And so the flip side of the coin of what's going on in the human GI tract after 3 generations now of eating a standard American diet is that there are people who gain a lot of weight, and we see that all the time. It's like now 2/3 of America, right? But there are really skinny people who are skinny even though they eat tons and tons of food because their gut literally isn't absorbing nutrition. So examples of skinny foods or low calorie foods that are actually really bad for you. Diet soda is a really obvious one that comes to mind. People who drink diet soda actually eat more food. It is not helpful to losing weight or to maintaining ideal weight. Lots of toxic versions of caffeine and lots of neurotoxins in diet soda. Skim milk is another one. People will tell me they eat really healthy because they drink skim milk. Well, if there's anything good in cow's milk for a human, because humans aren't really built to understand the milk of another animal as food. There's problems that happen when we drink milk is it's mucus forming, right? The fat molecule's too big for us to really cross the membranes of our cells. So if there's something good in dairy products, it's the fat. I actually think organic butter from free-range cows without salt added is a healthy food. It has really great medium-chain fatty acids. Again, your brain needs that. Skim milk is not good for you. It may be low in calories, but it's not a good food. Let's talk about high calorie foods that are really good for you. People think bananas are high in calories for a fruit. Well, bananas are a pretty amazing food full of a lot of potassium, which a lot of us aren't getting enough of. Avocados are about as perfect a food as there is, and they're very high in fat and they're very high in calories. But you know what? Good fats, like the ones in avocados, burn bad fats. And a lot of people don't know this. How about walnuts? All kinds of seeds and nuts are higher in calories, but they have really good essential fatty acids in them that we need for avoiding anxiety and depression, for avoiding cardiovascular disease, cancer, and neurological disease. So these are just examples of why calorie count isn't the best measure of food, okay? So there was the low-fat era where they gave us low-fat and non-fat foods. Now manufacturers play this silly game where they give you these calorie or portion controlled packages. So you've seen the 100 calorie snack packs. That's a little game that they play to sell you more snacks, because most people, if they have a box of 100 calorie Ritz crackers, or let's go with Doritos, okay, they're gonna eat 6 bags of those. I mean, you know, the Doritos slogan for a while at least was, I bet you can't eat just one. Well, I bet you can't eat just one because they design it that way. They sit around boardrooms and figure out that sweet spot where there's enough sweet and there's enough salty and there's enough monosodium glutamate in it, which makes it really, really addictive, that they're not kidding when they say you can't eat just one. So don't fall for the hype. Don't fall for the marketing and manufacturing games. Look for foods that aren't in those kinds of packages, that don't even have a label on them about how many calories they have, because they came out of a tree, because they grew out of the ground. These are our nutrient-dense foods. If you could pick them off of a plant, and they haven't changed much at all since then, these are your best foods. So I often say that, but I hope that we evaluate food for how high in fiber it is. Same ones, things you pull out of a tree, things you pull out of the ground, high in fiber, low in calories, high in micronutrients. And here they are. The little food pyramid I always talk about is greens. Eat lots of greens in your salad, green juice, green smoothies, however you get them, get them. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, and you don't have to eat gluten grains, by the way. There's lots of grains out there. Some of them are alkaline, many of them are gluten-free. And then nuts and seeds. Did you get that? It's greens, vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts and seeds. I'm not saying you should eat a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet. And if you want to eat animal proteins, then make them clean, organic, free range, wild caught. But those are the nutrient dense foods. And so your challenge is to get more of them. So hope you like this episode. If you do, go to greensmoothiegirl.com and sign up for my free newsletter. So when I release new content, you always get it. So I'm the Green Smoothie Girl. See you next time.